And welcome back, part 30. This is a milestone, y'all. This is a milestone. It is a 1 stone mile. We are at, if you've made it this far, I feel like you're in it for the long haul, okay? And I hope you're doing well. I hope yours looks something like this, or even if it doesn't, I hope you're enjoying the process, and I hope you're learning a little bit about Blender, because that's, you know, it's not just to be able to make something. It's also about learning the interface. You know, ideally, I'd like you to be able to walk out of this class knowing how to build one yourself. Build not just this, but really anything you want, you know, to know what you need to find to build what you need to build. Okay? So now we're going to start. We're going to start the hair today. One of my favorite parts about Blender is that you can make the interface look however you want it to look. Okay? And if you want it to just have this big open space with the 3D viewport, that's cool. If not, you can drag it down here. We've talked about this briefly. See, watch my mouse change right up here. It's, well, let me turn screencast. Okay, screencast keys are on. See how I have the pointer? You can see the arrow, and then right when I get here, it changes to crosshairs. Lowercase t, or a cross, or a crosshair. If I click and drag that, I can create another window, okay? It's essentially the same thing, but I can make this look however I need to, and I can create 2 different windows. I can create, and then I can click here. I can also drag it down, right? Now, it's very quickly getting busy. I'm just gonna collapse these panels with T and N. Those are the shortcuts. And then up here, this is a workspace, okay? So you can make this look whatever you need to. This can be my timeline right here, and this can be my Python console if you want to program, okay? It doesn't have to be. And then to get rid of it, go back to, find the crosshair, click and drag up a little bit, and you should see that arrow. Watch. No arrow, arrow down, arrow up, arrow down, arrow up, and whichever arrow you pull to is going to get eaten. And now this whole thing is my Python console. Okay, now I don't want a Python console to take up half my screen, but what I do want is my reference image. Okay, so I went on the information superhighway, and I found I just literally searched for anime pigtails. I was looking for hair, and I found a reference. So I'm going to come here and go to image editor, and then open, find my image, anime hair reference, open. Okay, so now I have hair right here that I can look at in my viewport. I don't have to keep going back and forth into different screens. And if I ever want to get rid of it, I can just click right here. Well, excuse me. I can click right here and drag over, and you can see the color change, and this would go away now, or this would go away now. And if I ever want to get rid of it, if I accidentally do it and I don't want to collapse either viewport, just right click with your mouse, and it restabilizes. So we're going to give this character some pink hair, some pigtails, and I don't know if we're going to use this pink. It might have to be opal. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But probably this type of pink. And this was taken from a website called PNG Key, and it is royalty-free, right? Royalty-free, no attribution required image. I'll put a link to this image in the description of this video. Okay. So now that we have a reference image, let us build. Now, one of the big things that we've stressed this whole time is that there is no one right way to do this, okay? If you do a YouTube search for, you know, polygon hair in Blender, 3D modeling polygon hair, you're going to find hundreds, thousands of examples. And, you know, one of the reasons that we're using so many different types of tutorials is to kind of show you, just to kind of prove that there is no one right way to do this. We used Ni Kwang for a lot of the head. We used Dicko for a lot of the geometry. We used Dino Kreuter for the hands. All of these different artists have put up templates for how to do stuff that we can then, take and make it our own. So for the hair, we're going to use the CG Cookie template. And CG Cookie is another channel. These guys are like the OGs of 3D animation tutorials in Blender on the interwebs. They've been around forever, and they have a great template on how to build out polygon hair in Blender, and I'm going to put a link to that in the description of this video. So as always, if you want to move at a faster clip than we're moving in this tutorial, check that video out. Go at your own speed. If not, if you want to follow us pound by pound, piece for piece, then let's dive into it. Okay, so you got your reference image on. We have our reference template ready to reference, and we're going to build out some hair. And the hair is going to be polygon hair, which means it's going to be, it's going to look like a 3D animation style, anime-ish, Pixar, DreamWorks, that kind of stylized hair. It's not going to look real. It's not going to, be based on a particle system. It's going to be based on geometry, what we've been doing so far. So we're going to add some Bezier curves, okay? Or if you're American and you like talking American, you can say Bezier curve. This is the first time we've touched this so far, but hey, you know what? You're going to do great. So let's get I'm going to Shift S real quick, go cursor to world origin, get that down there. Make sure I got screencast keys turned on. Okay, and now I'm going to add some Bezier curves, okay? So I'm going to go Shift A and add a curve, Bezier curve, just like that. You see it's big down there. I'm going to move it over. I'm going to grab it along the grab it along the X-axis, mea culpa. And this is a Bezier curve, all right? Or Bezier, depending on where you put your emphasis. Now, a Bezier curve is really just a piece of geometry that is used in 3D animation. Really, not even 3D animation, just using all computer graphics to draw stuff, to make shapes, to make really organic looking things. So I want to Shift D this, and I'm going to bring this up on the Y-axis. Okay, so we have two of these. Shift D is my shortcut for duplicates, obviously. And then I want to add a third one with Shift A. I'm going to add a circle. Okay, I'm going to bring this over here, and then I'm going to bring this back here. Okay, so we have three objects. Okay, so before things get out of control, let's name all of our objects. So with the Bezier circle selected, we can come up here to our scene collection where everything is, or we can come down here to our properties panel and click on the object properties and just come right here, and we can go. We can call this Bezier Bevel A. Okay. And now you can see we changed that here, and it's reflected up there, and that's fine. Okay, this Bezier curve, we're going to change this to Bezier Taper A. Okay, and let's call this one Bezier Hair dot 000. Okay, and these are the three pieces right here that we're going to be combining, kind of like building blocks, to build out our hair. And the reason we have 3 zeros right here is because we're going to be duplicating this boatload. We're going to be duplicating it a bunch, so I don't think we'll need another 0, but we might need more than 2 zeros, which is why I gave it 3. Okay, you with me so far? Does everything I'm saying so far right now make sense? I hope so. If not, please tell me so. Okay, you good? A little introduction to Bezier curve, and we're trying to, and we will definitely create a, oh my goodness, so this is in the, well, let's get these out. So I'm going to shift select. No, 1, 2, 3. See how I have them in the reference image collection? We don't want that at all. Put them in the scene, get them out of the reference image, close that out, and now they're here. And we'll build out a hair collection shortly. Okay, I want to select hair. All right, the object we want to select is hair. Okay, so with this object selected, let's come down to, we already got data properties, and we have Bezier hair selected. In geometry, I'm going to go to the taper object, click my eyedropper, and then I'm going to select the taper object, just like that. Okay, you with me? And then for bevel, I'm going to do the exact same thing. Then we come right here and go like that. Okay, and you see what happens? You see this giant little thickness right here? Okay, cool. So this is, we are editing these shapes, and it is manipulating this shape, just to kind of give you a little, what's it called? Foreshadow. It's a little foreshadow. This is where we're headed. So you should have a little, a really neat looking piece of geometry right here that, you know, is just this cool organic thing. Almost looks like a candle flame sideways. Okay, you with me? Everybody good so far? Is everyone good so far? Outstanding. Save your work. Control S. Okay, so now we want to, so now we can edit. So with our bevel selected right here, we want to tab into edit mode. Okay, and you see we have this yellow, these yellow handles here. We want to edit these handles, and to do that, you can come up here to control points, and then where we at? Set handle type right here, and then click aligned, and you see how they change right there, right there, right there. That's what we're looking for. I'm going to control Z out of that, because you can also just press V. V is a shortcut, and set handle type to aligned. Okay, and you see how that changes from I was at yellow and now it's red. We want the red. I'm just going to scale this in like that, and then I'm going to click this one and scale that in like that, and then I'm going to shift click these two to bring these in. Was no problem to scale. To bring the two of these in, we need to change our pivot point. So we can come up here and go to median point. And now when we scale, it just brings them right in on the middle. Like that. Okay? Now take a look at our hair. Do you see our hair? Look at her. Watch this when we move this. Okay? I'm just going to scale. Look at that. It's like it's breathing. It's like it's pulsing in and out, right? So we're affecting the shape by manipulating the Bezier curve. Okay, so let's do that. This might be a little sharp. Let's go back to individual origins and scale that out a little bit like that. And like that. And scale that out like that. To make it like pretty elliptical. Doesn't need to be that sharp, okay? And you can see that our piece of hair moved, okay? So now we're going to take the taper and we're going to do something similar, okay? So now let us edit. Let us switch over into object mode. Select the taper, Bezier, taper curve, jump back into edit mode, and I'm going to click on numpad 7 just so you can kind of see what's what. I'm going to select this one, and then I'm going to R to rotate it, and take a look at that. Look at the hair. You see, it's going gangbusters, right? That's crazy. Look at that. That's crazy. We can scale this in a little bit. So again, this is going to take some finesse. And you can figure it out. Go as slow as you need to go. Okay. So if rotating it balloons it out like that, then you probably need to change the scale. Okay. And we change the scale. The same way we've always changed the scale. Just click S. Okay? And we can scale that in, and then we can rotate this out. Like that. Okay? And then we can do the same up here. We can scale this in, like that. You can scale this in a little more, like that. Like that a little bit. And then we can scale that out like that. And then we can rotate it like that. And you can see, just like that, how quickly do we have something that can, a lock of hair, right? And you can see how, if you need to bend it more, then bend it more. If you want it to be straight more, then have it be straight. That's fine. Go ahead and really, really play around with it, right? I mean, this is as much an exercise in getting comfortable with Bezier curves as it is with, making it look like right or real hair. Okay, so now what we have is a lock of hair that we can manipulate really easily, okay? So take a look. I'm going to select, where are you at? This one right here. Rotate that, and look, that curves out. We can scale that in. We can scale that out. We can add this kind of curve. We can add this kind of curve, right? We can really do anything we want to, or, if you wanted a crazy ponytail or some kind of a pigtail, you can really kind of make this look however you need it to look, right? All with just a couple of curves, just a couple of Bezier curves, right? So what would that take? In just a few minutes, you're starting to see how you can make and model and manipulate hair. Okay, so as a first lock of hair, this is good. So let's tab into edit mode. We want all of our points selected, and then we're going to do something a little crazy. We're going to scale it along the y-axis at 0. Don't be afraid, okay? And then we're also going to scale it along the z-axis at 0 as well. Okay, also don't be afraid. We're just getting everything lined up, all right? Now, we also want this right here to be right here, and we want this to be right here. We essentially want to make the pivot point at the top of the lock of hair and have that be from the center of our object. So, well, if that doesn't make sense, let me just show you. So let's hit Shift S and go cursor to selected. Okay, and you see how that just jumps right to it? That cursor that was right there is now right on this orange dot. So let's tab into object mode and then just grab this with G and move it along the x-axis to about right there. Okay, so we want this tip to be on the 3D cursor and the object origin. So we're going to grab it along the x-axis and move that about there. Okay, a little more. I'm going to zoom it in like that. And then let's go into top view. Lost it. Where are you at? Okay, right here. Not bad at all. Go like that. And that. So we're on it, which is great. And then all we need to do is make the object origin at the cursor. So we go object, set origin, origin to 3D cursor. And then you see how this little dot right here went from the center of the object to the 3D cursor. Okay? And then let's make this our pivot point, the 3D cursor. So now if and when we rotate this, it'll be around this point. Also, for anyone that saw that pink image right here, don't freak out. It's just my reference image is no longer there. I have it in external hard drive, and it's not. It's currently off. But that's neither here nor there. So this this pivot point. Now we can rotate the hair like this, and it rotates around the pivot point that we set. I'm going to escape out of that. And this as a process should be familiar. Remember, we did it to the arm. We did it right here to the arm when we wanted to move that geometry. We are ready to build. We have our Bezier curves attached to our lock of hair so that we can rotate them, scale them, curve them, manipulate them very easily, and duplicate them very easily, and we can build out the hair. So we have our lock. We have one hair lock. And in the next video, we will build out the rest of the hair. So get up, get a stretch, get some water, and get ready to dive back into it. And I'll see you in the next one.